In this video, I'm going to discuss the latest application rate for June 2026 BTO launch. Let's start with 2-room flexi first. So, you are now looking at the 2-room flexi total supply and demand, and as you can see, Bukit Merah is still the most popular town with over 2,200 applicants already applied as of today. The runner-up is Bishan with more than 1,300 applicants, while Ang Mo Kio somehow seems to be the least favored among 5 towns for 2-room flexi. Now let's take a look at the 2-room flexi application rate for seniors. Right now, Woodlands is at 2.6, and then the runner-up is Bishan with 2.3. Meanwhile, Ang Mo Kio, Bukit Merah, and Sembawang is very close to one another in terms of application rate. And for singles, Woodlands already touched 12.8 in terms of the application rate, which means that more than 12 applicants are competing to get one 2-room flexi unit in Woodlands for a single category. As mentioned before, Woodlands only have very limited amount of unit allocated for singles. So if you haven't applied yet, I would highly recommend applying to other towns or wait for the next BTO launch. The runner-up is Bukit Merah with 5.3, followed closely with Bishan with application rate of 5. Again, Ang Mo Kio is the least applied town, at least as of today. Now let's look at the application rate for first-timer families. Woodlands gets 0.7, followed by Sembawang with 0.3, and then Ang Mo Kio, Bishan, and Bukit Merah is pretty much head-to-head. And for second-timer families, Woodlands already reached 1.9, and meanwhile, the other 4 towns are still less than 1. So if you are second-timer families who wants to apply for 2-room flexi, you have 4 towns to choose from, which gives you the best chance to secure a flat in this BTO round. Now let's go to 3-room. This is the total supply and demand for 3-room flats. And as you can see, Bukit Merah is the most popular town with 349 applicants already applying as of today. The runner-up is Woodlands with 264. Meanwhile, Ang Mo Kio and Sembawang is very close to one another in terms of the total demand. And as of now, officially for all towns, 3-room demand already surpasses its supply. Now let's look at the 3-room application rate for first-timer families. The highest one is at Woodlands with 1.7. Meanwhile, for Ang Mo Kio, Bukit Merah, and Sembawang, they are still less than 1. And it's interesting to see that even though Ang Mo Kio BTO projects are both categorized as plus and Bukit Merah is categorized as prime, which means that both of these towns' 3-room flats are subjected to the 10-year MOP and very strict restrictions in terms of resale in the future, as well as cannot rent out the whole flat after MOP. But the interest from the public is still quite high for these 2 towns. And next, for 3-room application rate for second-timer families, as you can see, Ang Mo Kio is the highest with 12.9, which is quite a jump versus yesterday's application rate of 10. Bukit Merah now is at 12.8, and Woodlands is standing at 9.6. The biggest chance you might be able to secure a flat is probably at Sembawang if you are second-timer families who are interested to get a 3-room flat. Now let's look at 4-room flats. This is the total supply and demand for 4-room flats. And again, Bukit Merah is the most popular with more than 3,100 applicants already applying so far. The runner-up is Bishan with 2,100 applicants applied so far. And as of today, it seems that only Sembawang is the location where the total supply is still higher than the total demand. So if you are interested to secure a BTO flat very fast, then probably you would want to consider Sembawang. Now let's look at the application rate for first-timer families for 4-room flats. Right now, Woodlands is the highest with 2.9 and then followed by Bishan with 2.1. Now you might be wondering how come the total supply and demand is showing that Bukit Merah is the most popular, but then the application rate is still relatively timid. Well, this is because Bukit Merah has a lot of supply. So that's why the application rate still looks manageable. As of today, only Ang Mo Kio and Sembawang has application rate less than 1 for 4-room flats. Next up, let's look at the 4-room application rate for second-timer families. The highest right now is Bukit Merah with 14.5, which is quite a jump from yesterday's number of 12.6. The runner-up is Bishan with 10.1, and the second runner-up is Woodlands with 9.6. For all towns, 4-room already oversubscribed for second-timer families, which indicates there are still a lot of interest from second-timer families to secure bigger flats. Now let's look at 5-room and 3-gen. So this is the total supply and demand for 5-room and also 3-gen flats. And interestingly, Today is day 4, and then interestingly, as you can see, Sembawang supply is 623 in total, but the number of applicants is still 255. And then in terms of pricing, actually, which I have analyzed on a separate video, pricing that is being offered for 5-room and 3-gen in this BTO launch is actually quite reasonable. So I don't think price is the problem. Most probably, this is simply because Sembawang has experienced oversupply in the past several BTO launches. So people who are interested in Sembawang probably have already applied in past launches. Probably that's one of the reasons why 5-room and 3-gen flats are not so popular among applicants in this June 2026 BTO launch. And if we look at Woodlands received 497 application already for bigger flats. This indicates that it's not that people don't want to buy bigger flats. Usually, like most Singaporean would be interested in buying bigger flats, assuming that they have the financial. So unfortunately, I think it just boils down to the location. Sembawang seems to be perceived to be not as desirable as Woodlands, at least in this BTO launch. Now, if we look at the 5-room and 3-gen application rate for first-timer families, for Sembawang is still at 0.2, and then for Woodlands is already at 1.5. But if you want to look at it from a positive angle, then whoever applied for 5-room and 3-gen, most likely you'll be able to secure a flat, even like top floors. So if you haven't applied yet, and if you have the budget for it and are open-minded to apply to Sembawang, then probably this is your chance to secure a bigger flat. Next up, let's look at the 5-room and 3-gen application rate for second-timer families. For Woodlands, it's already standing at 6.4, which is a jump versus yesterday's number of 5.7. Meanwhile, Sembawang is standing at 2.1. For reference, here is the latest HDB application rate, and come back again tomorrow if you want to know the latest number. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye!